Suzy Wrong. Joy Drive with Dee and Warren's film, TV and theatre reviewer.
Suzy Wrong.
Coming to you live from COVID Central, Sydney.
Oh, doll. Is it okay?
It's not okay. It's 200 new cases a day.
I know.
It's not good. But I do feel like there is a change in the climate around vaccinations, because I think for the first time I'm seeing on my Facebook discussions about not being able to get a booking in time. So it seems like there's an urgency that's been waiting to happen for a long time, but it seems to be finally happening.
Are you happy to share your vaccination status with us?
Yeah, I got in as soon as I could. So I was double vaccinated literally half a week before lockdown happened.
But you're so young. How did you get one? Isn't that what I meant to say?
No, there's nothing wrong with being older. I think there's a lot of dignity in being older.
Oh, my God, and you wear it so well. Hey, Suzy Wrong, you set us some homework. Sometimes I don't love the films you recommend, I'll be honest with you, but you set us this one last week, The Dance of the 41. Tell us about it.
Dance of the 41 on Netflix is a film set in Mexico 120 years ago. It is the true story about a group of high society gay men and maybe some trans women who formed a secret congregation. They partied together in the underground, sometimes in orgiastic settings, which makes for some luscious visual splendor that I thoroughly enjoyed. The film places at its center a handsome Ignacio, whom we see marrying the president's daughter at the very start of the story, and things just go gradually tragic from then on, as his inability to sustain a double life causes everything around him to unravel. Things come to a head when the secret society is exposed. In fact, the scandal is now considered a historic incident in Mexico and no doubt a very dark time in their LGBTQ legacy. In 2015, however, same-sex marriage was made legal, so viewers can rest assured that things have vastly improved. Dance of the 41 is an immensely beautiful work of cinema with some very accomplished and sophisticated performances. I hope you find some time this week to check it out on your Netflix.
I think everybody will rush out and see it. It's sumptuous, isn't it? I mean, I don't know if you've never cared to ask, but I don't identify as a gay man, but I found it very sexy. I find the look of it incredible. I think that era might be for me. I like it. I mean, I know it looks a little bit hipster Melbourne now with the wax moustaches, but the look of these gentlemen is extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, the range of looks too. It's not just like a chiseled jaw type of, handsome man. There's just a range of
beautiful people, beautiful fashion, beautiful set decoration, beautiful scenes that they've selected, and the cinematography is so beautiful. The lighting is so beautiful, but at the same time, that the music is so sensitive and the writing is so clever. Yeah. I think a lot of it must have been fictionalized because it really got so emotional, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think particularly the relationship between the husband and wife. There's so much in there. I mean, you've thrown up another movie for us, which has no sympathetic female character whatsoever, which I thought was interesting. But so unsympathetic this wife was to the. I mean, we can't give away what happens in the end, but she's quite the piece of work, and also, obviously, I don't know the full history of Mexico, obviously, but these are obviously Spanish-looking, I guess the elite in Mexico at the time were European Spaniards, right? That's where this look comes from. And I think the wife was an indigenous Mexican. And I would have liked them to have addressed that issue more.
It's interesting you thought of her that way. I liked that. I liked the way she was written. I liked the way she was performed. I liked that she was really hard. I liked that she was there for what she was due because she was misled into a marriage. So obviously she wanted what was right for her. She was the president's daughter, and she wanted to have all that she deserved. So and she performed it in a way that was I think quite unusual. We don't see these sort of women very much because women always have to be sort of motherly and warm and tender and all that. And I think she didn't have a lot of that, which I thought was amazing to watch. But you're right, it was brutal.
And she had a baby goat. I'm just saying. She wanted a kid so badly she got a goat. I thought that was great. When that came on, I actually LOL'd. I thought that was brilliant. I can't I would give this 5 Suzys out of 5. I've decided to come up with a rating system for the Suzy Wrong movies. So I'm giving it 5 Suzys. How many Suzys would you give it?
I think I would give it 5 as well. When I saw it for the second time today, I was a bit more relaxed. I think sometimes when I watch these films, I put on the critic hat and I can be really sort of unfair to it. And I think the first time when I saw it, I was being very strident feminist as I usually am. And then, because it's a film about literally 42 very powerful men, having problems, I felt like, don't get my feelings involved in these men who have a lot of money and power. But the second time when I saw it today, I thought it is really sad. It's terribly sad.
Oh, horrific at the end.
Yeah, and the way that they were able to structure, give you the story about rich, powerful people, but actually have no freedom. And I think that is still a discussion that we need to have today. What does freedom mean? What does power mean? What does power mean if it doesn't have freedom attached to it?
Well, I think that it also speaks to the fact that the elite in that society, so the ruling and political elite, felt quite within their rights just to swan about doing that. Like they're just sort of with gay abandon up and down the streets, obviously homosexualizing. And then they get a sort of nasty shock at the end. It's like, well, you live in a society where, you should be able to be free and do all this. But I think they thought they were above reproach. And boy, when it hits, I mean, the whole lighting of the film changes, the soundscape changes. It's very cleverly done. I also think the device of using the 41, the number, and then when it goes to 42, then back to 41 is very, very cleverly done. I thought it was, it's not overblown and it's very cleverly written. I loved it. 5 Suzys.
A lot of it is really subtle, but it sort of packs a real punch.
Which is hard to get in a foreign language film.
Did you watch it in the Spanish?
I watched it in Spanish and read the subtitles, which is hard when you're eating a massive bowl of pasta because you have to keep looking up. What did you?
I watched it in English because I can never put down my phone, so I don't trust myself.
Well, the sign of a good, historical piece is when you have to pause your Netflix or what are we watching on? Your Netflix, and then start Googling because I couldn't help myself. I had to know if it was a true story and what exactly it was based on. So it's obviously a fictionalization of it's not a myth or a legend, it's an actual true story, but it's not very well documented. I think it's beautifully done. I don't want to go on about it. I encourage everybody to watch it, and I hardly ever do that. It's beautiful. We are talking to Suzy Wrong out of Sydney, lockdown Sydney. The film is called The Dance of the 41. It's currently streaming on Netflix. Suzy, what do you have for homework this week?
Next week, we're sticking to Netflix. A new documentary premieres today. It's called Pray Away. It's an American documentary that focuses on survivors of the so-called conversion therapy
It's going to make me stabby, isn't it?
Yeah. I think there'll be so much to talk about next week.
That's right. Warren, that's the week Warren should have been away because he's going to have a lot on that. Well, it's good. We've got to face it. It makes me upset even just thinking about it, but I'm going to watch it and let's have a chat about that next Tuesday. Suzy Wrong, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
See you next Tuesday. That's Suzy Wrong. She joins us every Tuesday for her film, movie and theatre review. The movie, again, because I know people are going to ask, it's called The Dance of the 41. It is beautiful. It is in Spanish language, but you can watch it with subtitles or dubbed. Now.